Friends and fellow gamers, welcome to Adventure with Roger, and welcome to the best MMO series, where we play every MMO we can get our hands on. Obviously, not every MMO out there can be the best. Some of the ones that we encounter will be barely surviving MMOs, in which we will refer to as BS MMOs. The first thing I'd like to do is express my gratitude to every single person supporting this channel, either by subscribing to it or on Patreon. I want to say thank you so much for being here to every single one of you. Now let's jump into this MMO and see what it's all about, shall we? Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Adventure with Roger. Today I'm taking you into the glorious world of Norath, featuring EverQuest 2, a game that I've been playing on and off for almost 18 years, about 17 years and 8 months last time I checked. EverQuest 2 has everything you could possibly want from an MMO, all the great stuff and all the bad stuff that comes along with it, of a game that's been out for that period of time. Definitely one of the greatest MMORPGs ever made, one of the richest storylines ever made in any game ever, for that matter. And we're going to take a quick look at it today. We're going to cover a lot of different stuff, and let's get started right away. We're going to go ahead and create a level 1 character. It says we can create a traditional character, a progressive character, which basically lets you unlock certain things on servers depending on if the community wants it unlocked or not. Then there's an event character and a free trade character, which is there's a lot of stuff in the game which is like bind on equip, so to speak, things, and things that aren't allowed to be normally traded between characters. And the free trade server allows you to almost freely trade any of those type of items with no penalty whatsoever. But we're going to go ahead and go for traditional today. Going to hit create character. As you can see here, we have 4 different archetypes to choose from. We have fighter, priest, mage, and scout. And the fighter has guardian, berserker, monk, bruiser, paladin, shadow knight. The priest has templar, inquisitor, warden, channeler, fury, mystic, defiler. The mage has wizard, warlock, illusionist, coercer, conjurer, necromancer, and scout has swashbuckler, brigand, troubadour, beast lord, dirge, ranger, and assassin. I'm going to give you a quick overview of all these classes real quick from what I can remember, give you a brief thing of kind of what the gameplay is like. So fighter has guardian. That's definitely like a tank class type character. Berserker is can be a tank. They use a buckler, but they can be a tank, but also is a great DPS class. The monk is doesn't really usually use weapons. They usually use their hands as combat. Mostly a DPS class based on strength. And the bruiser is kind of the, I would say, good versus evil type melee class that also uses their fists to fight. And when I say good versus evil is because in EverQuest 2 there is what they call good cities and evil cities, and based on what race and what class you want to play, you're either good or evil, so to speak. Then there's the paladin class. Paladins, almost every single class in the game can be DPS or tank, so to speak. It's hard to explain. All the melee classes pretty much can do that, but like the mages and some of the scouts can't tank, obviously. But so paladin and shadow knight are basically the exact polar opposites of each other. So the paladin uses more healing and the light to guide his way, and the shadow knight uses more like fear, manipulation, and despair, so to speak, and a lot more shadow spells and that type of situation to do its damage. So good versus light on every single one. For priests, we have templar and inquisitors, both like really good straight up healing classes. They do have each have like a melee type class, but it's never going to be, in my personal opinion, as powerful as like one of the good straight up melee classes. Then we have warden, which is really based on a healer that can change shapes into like a wolf or a bear and stuff like that, and use healing spells, and it's based off of wisdom. The channeler I haven't delved into too much. The Fury is another excellent healer slash DPS class, and that uses nature and whatnot. Mystic is really cool. You get to use it's basically like your shaman type class. And then the Defiler is they do a lot of like debuffing, but they also have the ability to heal people, which is really an interesting class to play. So Wizard is very self-explanatory. Wizard is basically a straight up elemental damage class. They can also root people in place and things like that. Warlock is damage over time spells mainly, and doesn't really use pets. The pet class is the Conjurer and Necromancer. I know a lot of other games has Warlock as the pet class, but not in EverQuest 2. So the Illusionist and the Coercer, both really very, I would say they're more crowd control slash wizard type characters, both based off of intelligence. Out of the two of them, my favorite's definitely the Coercer, because they're really capable more of subduing their prey, and they also give their group or party that they're in a lot of really cool things, like they can regenerate your mana and stuff like that for you, which is just epic. And they can really make like any fight into more of like a undaunting situation by controlling the fight, so to speak. Definitely the most interesting control mage I've ever seen in any MMORPG I've ever played. Then we have the Controller, Conjurer, and the Necromancer, both intelligence classes, but the Necromancer is more, you know, the evil type of conjuring class. So you got more your skeletons and more evil type summons than the Conjurer, who is more just like elemental summons like rock people and stuff like that. It's been a while since I played a Conjurer. And then scout classes are really cool in this game. So the Swashbuckler and the Brigand are both, like, I would say the closest thing you have to being a rogue type pirate situation. Like definitely a more debonair rogue class. And then you have the Troubadour and the Dirge, which are both really cool classes. And what they do is they're more like bards, and they sing a lot of songs, and they buff raids and parties that they're in, and they also do a great amount of damage as well. And then we have the Ranger, who is definitely the most ranged type DPS in the game, and uses primarily a bow as much as possible in any situation, but is also capable of melee damage. And then the Assassin is your most stealthy type class in EverQuest 2, in my personal opinion, and definitely most or all of their attacks on the Assassin are very positional. But also, I remember back in the day when EverQuest 2 first came out, I had a buddy who played an Assassin, and he had the #1 highest melee hit in the entire game for several months on end. And I think his name was Still at the time. And it was really fun for us because he had the highest damage number ever recorded on any character ever in EverQuest 2. And this was a time when that kind of stuff was all recorded in the game. I don't know if that still exists. I don't think it does still exist in 2021. But keep in mind, this was almost 18 years ago at the time. MMORPGs, in my personal opinion, were still in their infancy at the time. Even though they had been out for about 10 years already, they were still trying to figure a lot of things out. But I digress, as so many people like to say. Let's get back to the game. And let's go ahead and make a fighter class for today's video. And let's do a Shadow Knight and hit next. Okay, so like I was saying to you, there's 3 different types of situations you have In EverQuest 2, you have good characters, you have evil characters, and then you have neutral characters. So good characters, I can't choose as a Shadow Knight, but we'll go over them real quick. So you have the Vashir, which is the newest class to EverQuest 2, I'm pretty sure. Then there's dwarves, halflings, high elves, froglocks, which are really cool. I haven't seen any other game that has froglocks in them. Except for EverQuest, not EverQuest 2. And then we have the Fae and the Woodland Elves. For evil, I can choose any of these classes. We have the Arase, the Dark Elves, the Ixar, which are a reptilian race. We have Ogres, which are probably one of the bigger races in the game. The Sarnax are basically your dragon-derived reptilian characters. We have trolls, which how many games do you actually get to play a troll in? Not very many, which is really cool. And then some of the neutral characters I can use to be a Shadow Knight as well. So Eurydites are high intelligence characters. We have half-elves, which I really like to use because half-elves have the inherent thing of tracking, and it doesn't matter what class you play as a half-elf, you get tracking on that character, which is really, really handy. Then you have the Ratongas, the humans, gnomes, barbarians, the Freebloods, which are basically your vampire race, and the Kara, which are your good old furries cat race. For today's video, I'm going to make a... what do I want it to be? I think a troll Shadow Knight would be pretty funny to run around as a troll for this video. And we won't even... the female trolls. Oh god. No, we're not going to do the female trolls. We'll do a male troll today. And so, you know, you got your basic slider bars here. Not a ton of different things to choose from, but just enough to make it fun. So then in EverQuest 2, when you first start pick out your creating your character, you can choose from a good city, an evil city, or yeah, good or evil. So we have Neriak, which would be the... I forgot, I picked an evil class, so I don't have that choice. So as an evil class, I can choose to start out in Neriak, I can choose to start out in Gorowin, or I can choose to start out in the Overlord's Outpost. And that's kind of like a, if I remember right, it's kind of like a starting tutorial city. And that's what I want to do today. For all intents and purposes of this video, I think that will serve us rather nicely. And for a name on our character today, and we're going to play Roger Troll Good. Yeah, so like I was saying, EverQuest 2 is one of the greatest MMORPGs out there, and one of the reasons for that is because of the fact that they haven't given up on trying to make EverQuest 2 what it was good at, but then at the same time, some of the fatal flaws that they've made over the years, they made it so that you can pay to win, which is probably the biggest and most fatal flaw of the entire game. Another thing that I think that actually really hurt EverQuest 2 over the years is that they took a lot of the player interaction out of the game and put a lot of things in the game so that people can solo a lot more. And some of them were really innovative and really great ideas, but anytime you have a massive multiplayer game and you put things into the game that help people solo more so that they don't have to group with other individuals, I feel personally like it's very detrimental to the game itself. Ingrid, secure the loot. Secure those chests. There's a dragon. There's a drake or a dragon. Oh my gosh. We're out in the middle of the ocean and we're getting set on fire by a dragon. This is not good. We're in trouble here, boys. Ooh, look how pretty. I'll accept that quest. So NPCs in EverQuest 2 have different cons to them. Red con is the hardest con. All NPCs you can attack. So if it's a guard like these guys and I accidentally hit them, they would immediately kill me by breathing on me really hard because they're triple up level 100 heroics mobs, and that would pretty much kill me. If they looked at me too sternly, it would probably kill me, honestly. But in like other games, if you talk to guards, you can ask them where certain things are and they'll give you an answer. So let's turn in this quest. Sparring partner. Let's rock, lady. You're getting it. Oh yeah. Oof. We're taking her down though. We got this. Oh yeah. One more hit. Got her. Turning in the quest. I did. So now we need to talk to this chick over here, and they gave us a couple of quests, which is nice. They gave me some gloves. So another thing, EverQuest2, you have these little question marks like this one right here. If you click on them, you pick something up, you loot it, you get part of a collection, and there's literally like 1,000 of these things in the game. So there's a collection in every single area of the game you go into, and when you finish a collection, they give you really cool rewards like stuff for your player housing, interesting pieces of like armor or gear, or items that you can equip on your person. So really cool stuff. This particular one is part of the feather collection, so I say I can add it in. I got the hawk feather, put it in the collection, and when I get the rest of the feathers, I'm gonna get, I think it's like an earring or something like that. And then also there's gathering nodes in EverQuest 2 for, you know, all your basic stuff. So like blacksmithing, leatherworking, tailoring, woodworking, everything you can think of. There's a way to craft it in EverQuest 2. So as you gather in EverQuest 2, your gathering skills go up. So if you're a miner, your mining skill will go up. And it tells you right here, I'm sure you can see it on the side of the screen here. I've been gathered 3-4 times now. It says my gathering skill went from 6 of 10, 7 of 10, 8 of 10, 9 of 10, and then 10 of 10 right there. And then once you reach it so that it's maxed out, you have to level up, and then as you level up, you'll get the ability to level up your gathering even more, and then you can go into different zones that will give you better stuff that you can gather, so to speak. So really well thought out, and I really appreciate not only the gathering system in EverQuest 2, but also the crafting systems in EverQuest 2 are probably some of the best Ooh, level 3. What's up now? Alright, so what I was saying is that the crafting system in EverQuest 2 is one of the best crafting systems in any MMORPG ever. And before we get done with this video, I will try to definitely show you the crafting system, because it's one of the it's kind of really rewarding, and you can do like crafting quests in the game and fulfill orders from NPCs, and there's quite a bit of stuff you can do with the crafting system, including, you know, obviously making armor and gear for your character, like weapons and armor, but also tons and tons of furniture for your house that you can make. And one of the really cool things that I love about EverQuest 2, even though it's 18 years old almost, is that every time I log in, like I have my main character, whose name is Tyrion, actually, is an armor maker. And with Tyrion, I craft complete sets of armor, that is not even good for leveling up at this point, because it's kind of like the crafting system is really good for as you're leveling up, so to speak. But the best gear in the game is gotten from dungeons and raid content. But people buy the stuff that I make for their whatchamacallit. Let's see here, the appearance slots, and which is really cool. So you have all your equipment here, and then you have your appearance, which you can put on this stuff, which is what everybody else is going to see on your character. And then you have wardrobe slots. So this is like, if I unlock this, I can unlock it. I'm not going to, because this is just a new character. I'm probably not going to play it that much. I'd rather play my main character. But I can unlock this and then put a complete set of armor in here. And then when I want to switch to it, I just have to hit one button, and it remembers that set of gear. And then we have your skills, your factions, your mounts. So I don't have any yet, obviously. Then there's a ton of familiars in the game that actually give you stats for just having them out, which is really cool. Then there's a mercenary that you can hire later on in the game that will fight with you, which is really cool, but it does make it so that people like to solo more often. So even though it is such an awesome, cool feature in the game that you can have a mercenary out fighting with you or healing you or doing damage or tanking for you, it makes it so that players don't spend quite as much time together, which is a detriment to any MMO. Then you have housing, dungeons, your biography if you want to write something in there, and options like show your head cover or hide your head cover, and all that good stuff. And then decline duels, trades, all that stuff. So lots of really neat stuff. Ooh, so I got a treasure chest. So another really cool thing about EverQuest 2 is that every mob that you kill has a chance of dropping something really cool. It doesn't matter if it's a level 1 creature or a level 100 creature, you still have a chance at either a small chest, a treasure chest, or a exquisite chest. And exquisite chests always have something really cool in them, like a rare piece of weapon or armor, a skill book or a spell book that you couldn't find otherwise outside of an exquisite chest, and stuff like that. And one of the things I really like about it is that when you get one, it feels good. You know, it's like you really, you know, you're going to get something that you can probably resell or use yourself, which is really neat. Alright, so one of the really cool things I wanted to share with you guys while I have you here is some of the player housing in the game. And the reason I want to show this to you, take at least a couple minutes of this video to show it to you, is because EverQuest 2 has some of the best player housing in any MMO that's ever been made. And some of the things that you can do in your player housing is incredible for an 18-year-old game, basically. You can set up your own crafting stations in EverQuest 2, and this particular character is my armor maker, and you can set up different dummies in here, and you can put armor on them and stuff, and you can equip them with the stuff that you can actually craft. So right over here, this set of armor, I think this one, not this one, this one's a special quest stuff that I got that I'm actually wearing right now. But these two I can craft. This one, that one, no, I can't. But a lot of the armor that you can craft, you can display inside your house on these mannequins, is the word I'm looking for. And then you can have your forge. I have an elaborate forge here in my player housing, which is actually on this boat that I have out here. And as you can see here, I have just 1,000 different recipes of all different levels, all going from trivial all the way to easy to even. So basically from level 1 all the way at 0 or 1 all the way up to level 95 stuff that I can craft. And if I go up in the air here, you can see kind of the scale of this little island that I have set up here. And this and everything on this island is all stuff that I've collected over the years, or you know, got from quests or lore and legend quests. Each one of these items on this wall right here is a lore and legend item from killing different monsters like minotaurs or eyes, or just every vampires, any monster you can possibly imagine. They have a lore and legend for in the game, and each time you finish one of the lore and legend quests, you get an item that you can hang on the wall. So I have quite the collection going on. Tables, rugs, chairs, fountains, anything you can possibly think of. I have a little halfling home here, and inside the halfling home, each one of these books right here represents a long quest storyline or epic quest of some kind that I finished, and am able to display the book in my home, letting people know that I have accomplished all these crazy feats in my EverQuest2 career, which I think is a really awesome idea. So you can tell I have a lot of books sitting right there. I've been at it for a while. I have a little fish tank right there. I have a pool table in my back room back here, which is kind of funny. This sword that's hanging on the wall right up here is an epic legendary Shadow Knights quest. And once you finish the quest, you get this sword called Sedition, Sword of the Blood Moon. And I can actually hang it in my house on my wall, which is a really cool feature of EverQuest 2. And then over here I have a little druid ring. I have a little casino up here where people can gamble, which is pretty funny. I have some more tables and chairs up here. And all this cool stuff I have in my house reduces the status of how much so certain player housing in EverQuest 2 has certain amounts of status that it takes to upgrade the house or have the house its weekly costs, so to speak. Here I have a bunch of really cool paintings that are all 100% EverQuest 2 artwork. That's currently places that are in the game. I have some really cool, some more stuff over here. Just a really nice collection that I've accumulated over the years. Over here I have a couple of merchants who sell things. I have some different display cases, and the display cases all have things for sale. Or you can just come over here and click on this market board, and the market board lets me put things up for sale. So I have 6 different display cases here where I can put things inside of them and put things up for sale. And then when people buy things, I can take the coin out and use the coin to buy other things. And I already did that earlier today. I took all the coins out, so nothing to look at. These are all different pets I've accumulated over the years of playing EverQuest 2, and I have them all displayed right here on these little tables, which I thought is really cool. And then you know, there's trophies that you can win for really cool player housings, and you can make your own dungeons in EverQuest 2. There's just all kinds of things you can do. You can set up portals to not only other housings that you have inside the game. So I'm at this one currently right here, but I have other player housing portals that I have set up to other housings that I have available. And here I have some trophies for dungeons that I've created in the past, and one for my housing Hall of Fames that I have that people voted on and said, hey, this guy has one of the coolest player housings out there. And you know, some people have some really neat player housings in this game. And one of the other things that's cool about the player housings is that you can enlarge things as big or as small as you want to when you set them down in your player housing. So like this tree right here, it's huge, right? But actually it's only about the size of this one. But I just made it huge so that I could have something really neat setting in the middle of my island, kind of like a world tree, so to speak. Another really cool thing about player housing is that you can set it up so that other people can come to your house and enjoy all the stuff. So you can set up people as trustees, owners, visitors, all that kind of stuff. And some of your friends can come use your crafting tables and stuff like that and have access to all that really neat stuff. Some of the other stuff I just want to go over real quick because this video is already so much longer than I want it to be. I have just hours and hours of stuff. I can talk to you about EverQuest 2. I didn't even get a chance to show you. There are literally hundreds of awesome dungeons in EverQuest 2. More dungeons than you could possibly do or even comprehend, that you could do for months and months on end and never probably see them all. And it's just awesome. I think if you guys like the EverQuest 2 content, I'll go ahead and come back and make a video about some of the EverQuest 2 dungeons that I really like. But for this one, I just want to say, if you haven't played EverQuest 2 ever, obviously it's not in the state and condition it was 17 years ago when it was just buzzing full of individuals and all these cool different kinds of characters and role plays, and just one of the greatest games ever that you could ask for. But still today in 2021, it might just be the nostalgic side of me, but still to this day in 2021, I think it's one of the best MMORPGs ever made, some of the greatest content ever made in any video game ever, and I highly recommend that you just install it and play it casually here and there when you have time and you're not playing your main game. And I think that it has a lot to offer. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. I really appreciate you being here. Don't forget to check out the links in the description, including my Discord, that you can join and come hang out with some really great individuals, talk about some of your favorite games, and we have a good time in there. You can check out my social media link, and don't forget to check out my Patreon, where you can support the channel for as little as $1.50 per month. I really appreciate it. Once again, my name is Roger. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you on the next adventure. Take care of yourself, everybody.